I'm playing Richard III. I'm very excited about it. And what's quite unique about playing Richard is I've been incredibly interested in the exhumation of Richard when he was found in Leicester about 2-3 years ago. So after auditions, I was delighted to be able to play somebody who's been really, really fascinating for the last few months in my life. What was he like? People say he was a nasty, wicked old king. I'm going to beg to differ. I think Richard was, as we know, the last Plantagenet king. He was the last Catholic. Actually, the people loved him, so they say today, and he wasn't, as current historians are painting him. Shakespeare wrote of him in a bad light, and that's probably naturally because he was appeasing Elizabeth I, who was the great-granddaughter. Great-granddaughter. I forget where he sits in that, but yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Cool. Okay, so could you, I know you were doing something interesting with your props and doing it kind of like personal to yourself. Could you tell me a bit about that, please?
Yeah, we often see Richard played in the past, and he's always adorned with these wonderful memorabilia and medals and so forth. And I just thought, you know, can we do something different with him, which is probably quite unique to myself and maybe to professional stage. So I dug in the family history, and I'm very proud to be wearing, as family on one side, I've got my great-grandfather's World War I medal, I've got my grandfather's Second World War medal and my father's medals, and of course my campaign medal on my right side. So I'm really excited for their name as well to be going onto stage and doing that. For the crown, you know, Imogen Beach, the director, wanted to keep it really simple, and she wanted something really funky and chunky, if you will. We looked at various ideas and what could we do with the crown. So I had a great idea. My wife didn't think it would work at first. I have a cat badge, a blackened out cat badge from my tours of...
A bit higher on the crown, where you are, that's perfect. And I know it probably feels awkward, but that's about the right level to see it on camera, yeah.
Okay.
Cool, brilliant, thank you.
So, yeah, absolutely. So the director wanted something really chunky and metallic looking. So I had a great idea, and like I said, my wife laughed. She thought it was never going to work. So this cat badge there, what we see on that, which will be on the left-hand side as we wore in the British Army, on the left, our cat badge is the cat badge I actually wore in Northern Ireland in the early 80s on tour of duty. So I think it's really unique. We've fashioned 6 of these, and you know, I think that's going to be great for stage, so that's what we've done with the crown, and I hope it works.
Cool. So I know that you've been kind of involved with the combat veteran players pretty much since the start, is that right? So could you just tell me a bit about, and I know Amanda wants to get to say the word combat veteran players in this, so tell me a bit about the group themselves and maybe some of the stuff you've done in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Combat veteran players formed about 4 or 5 years ago, more so at the time just to be kind of a paper by the artistic director at the time. We got together as veterans, very shy of Shakespeare. None of us even could read it, recite it, didn't really particularly like it. I think after about 6 months, we felt that we had something that we wanted to share with the Armed Forces community. So the first production we put on, which was supposed to be in a little church hall and everybody goes on the merry way, formed into a theatre company called the Combat Veteran Players. We were very fortunate. We went to the Old Vic Tunnels with our first production of Midsummer's Night Dream. Our second production of Henry, we had a UK tour of that at the Duchess Theatre in the West End and around the UK. We played Hamlet at the amazing Shakespeare's Globe. Last year we played Twelfth Night in the West End at the fabulous Leicester Square Theatre, and of course this year we're at the Royal Shakespeare Company's awesome Swan Theatre next week, a week today, and then we're back in the West End again at the great Leicester Square Theatre with our final show. We're also hopeful to take the show on the road to take it into schools. So having veterans, not only through any type of difficulty, so we're looking at a theatre company of veterans who are maybe mental trauma, any type of physical difficulty, if you will, and transitional difficulty. So we've got a good band of brothers, if you will, and sisters.
Cool. Is there anything else, Sean, you think you want to talk about? Can you think of anything?
Yeah, I think it's also exciting that we've branched into the United States now, so we have a combat veteran players in the USA. It's always hopeful that, with the public support and military charities, and let's not forget those, Help for Heroes, the ABF, the Army Benevolent Fund, Soldiers Charity, Stoll here. We're here in Fulham where we rehearse at the military a residential place called Stoll. We've got the Poppy Factory. We've got some fabulous charities backing us. And with their support, we're able to do what we do. And again, we're hopeful that we can replicate this sort of theatre to the armed forces community, the veteran community, and maybe we can, in our namesake and lifelike, encourage more to join us.